everyone. So my name is Admaryz, as you know. I have been doing Talented Tuesdays for a while now. I work at North Riverside Public Library as an adult service associate. So today we're going to be doing origami cranes. And I think the first time I did this, I was in 5th grade. And I used to do them a lot. So you could actually use any piece of paper. When I learned this, I just used blank white paper. The key idea is that it has to be square. So for example, if you're starting off with like any paper and you have like a rectangle, then what you will want to do is to convert it into a square. So I'm gonna shift the camera a bit. So to convert it into a square, you're gonna create a triangle. You want your lines to be kind of precise on this, just a little bit, but if not, you'll still be able to make a crane. Okay. So you have a triangle. Like I said, if you have a rectangle piece of paper, you want to convert it into a square. Yes, this is origami, Sharon. So right now I am basically covering the part where if you can use any paper, you just have to convert it into a square. So right now I grabbed a rectangle paper. It could be almost any paper, preferably not construction paper because it is thicker. So you convert it to this. So you fold it over, make a triangle, and you should have this. From here, this part, I don't really like cutting it because sometimes people tend not to cut any type of straight line. So you'll want, it doesn't have to be 100% perfect. You will want to fold it again. See how it looks? Make sure that you're making the fold as defined. I use my nails, but like if you don't have any, then you can use like a card. You're gonna bring this over. I do this until I'm able to rip it off. Okay. Like I said, it might not come out as precise. Okay. So we have that. It didn't come out as precise, but I'll show you it will still basically come out. So one part is actually already done for the crane. So now we're gonna make another diagonal line. So we fold that over as precise as it could be. If it does bother you, this part, then you could just cut it off if you want. So this is what you should have. As you see that it's like kind of like closing inward, now opposite, you're going to fold it horizontally. You're gonna make this line define, and then again, so as you see this one side, now it's the other. So as you have it, the horizontal, as we did, when you open it up, you're gonna open it up as if it was a diamond. From there, you're going to like kind of bring two sides going inward. Then these other two sides are gonna close in. So what you should get is like kind of like a diamond. Okay. From here, as we have the diamond, these flaps, you're going to bring them in to the center. My folds are not precise. I will show you with origami paper at the end. And you're going to do the same thing onto the other side. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. So it should look like a kite. Also make sure that you're making the folds very defined, because that will allow you to do the next step. Here's an extra step that I add in to make it easier. So this section right here, I tend to fold it on one side. You could just do it on one side if it makes it easier. This is just my preference. And then I fold it on to the other side. And there's a reason why I do that. This next step, you're going to unfold. You technically unfold both sides, but I'll show you. So when you unfold it, these lines are kind of like your guidelines. So you're gonna I'm gonna turn it this way, kind of open it like a mouth, and then follow the lines that you have on like out here. You're gonna pinch it inward. Hey, Lizzie. And so now you see it's kind of like a weird little mouth. That's how I see it. And so you bring that down. On the other side, we're going to do the same thing. You're going to open it. And you use the lines, the creases, as your guideline. Mind you, it is a little tricky. And then you bring it down. So far, you should have something like this. The next part, you're gonna open both. So it should be like that. You're gonna bring it out like that. From there, we're gonna do another fold. So as you see this part, I'm gonna bring it inward. I will do a second round of this with actual origami paper. And then on the other side, we're gonna do the same thing. So you just flip it over. And then you try to get as much as you can to the center. I have done an origami crane on almost any type of paper. It gets challenging, but it's still fun to make the crane. So you should have like kind of like two weird little legs. So this is where it gets a little hard. I hope you can see this. So basically these legs, we're going to make like parts of the body of the crane. So you see how like I kind of have it open this way? You're gonna bring it upward follow the fold as much as possible. So we got one part. And now we're gonna do the opposite side. If I could get it right. Mind you, sometimes this does get a little hard. Why am I struggling today? I was just fine. No, no. No, mine is not coming out. Of course. Okay. Like I said, this part is actually the trickiest. And then, yeah, now I got it. No, I did not. I see. Bring it upward. Normally I could do this very easy. And then with one of the sides, you bring this part like inward. I don't know if you can see it that well. And this one is so weird. And that's your crane. Normally, I wouldn't have a problem with the bottom. So I have like a bunch of these that I made. So it should be looking like that. Now I'm going to show you quickly with the origami paper. So normally the origami paper has one side with decoration and then one side that's blank. And so basically we do the same following. Diagonal. Diagonal. Oh no. Well, if you want this part out, it has to be this way. And then it's diagonal. Okay. And then, same thing. You bring them in. You're gonna make our kite. Kite again. So kite. Now you're gonna bring these sections outward. Like I said, you can add the piece. I forgot that I kind of need the piece. So So I'll do that since I started you off with that. You follow your already predetermined lines. Like I said, when you first start this, it does take you a while to get used to all the fold, like creases and everything, creases. And so, you should be able to bring it inward. Opposite side, do the same. That's why if you're like kind of like me that struggles with the creases, make sure these parts are very defined. Okay. And like I said, you're gonna bring it outward. Should look like this. And then these parts are going to be folded to the center. If you're interested in using origami paper rather than regular paper, then Amazon is probably your best bet. I'm pretty sure Michael's has origami paper, or at least the last time I remember they had it. So it should look something like this. Now we're gonna do the fun part. Well, to me it's not that fun. And that's where you have to bring it, do the inward motion. And to be quite honest, that's probably my biggest struggle with origami, is you have to do, it's kind of like you folded yourself in a way. If I could get the crease right. And with the inward creases, you press into it. But like I said, it's something you kind of get used to. I still feel like I struggle with it. Okay. And now to do the other side. You kind of open it with the outward crease. You then fold it inward. If it wants to. And then, whichever part you want, let me make sure this is defined. This part is kind of the same thing. You're going to fold it inward. And that is your crane. And then, of course, these flaps come down. Okay, so that's it for cranes. Like I said, if you want to use the traditional origami paper, then they have like these little designs on it, so it does make them more appealing. I have done it with almost anything I could fold. I've done it with like even construction paper, which I don't recommend. But it's actually pretty fun to do, and it's quite relaxing. So have fun folding. Bye everyone. Thank you, Lizzie.